Welcome to the show from the weekend. We are live on Facebook at Metro TV Ghana. You can watch us live on there and also on DSTV channel 277. This afternoon, we are joined in the studio by a band. So I'm not talking about like the whole band, but yeah, the band is in the building. Just two of them joining us this afternoon. We played their song earlier, the Fra Band. Their band doing so well for themselves. I was telling them earlier that back in the day when I said back in the day, like I'm growing like when I used to do, when I used to do radio in Takrady, it was my motivational song every day on the show. Yeah, when I have to do the motivation bit, but yeah, we're here. So, ladies and gentlemen, we've got Fra in the building. Two gentlemen in nice looks. I want to do this one.
This one.
I don't want to do this.
Okay, this.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm sure you start from this before you get to that, right?
No problem.
Yeah.
But how does it feel watching yourselves? I mean, the video we're playing. I saw how you were playing the melodies and everything in your heads alongside. How was it putting this together? The song in the studio and also the video.
Well, we always say that we always feel excited when we see the songs which we wrote in our rooms and bathhouses, singing it in our homes, being played on TV, and we're also excited when everyone is jamming to our songs.
Yeah.
Usually the songwriting process is interesting and fun when it comes to Fra, because it's a 6-piece band. The reason why we chose the name Fra initially is because each member of the band has a different musical influence. So usually when we are writing our songs, it's like different ideas from everyone. So it makes
Afra.
Yeah, so it means mix.
It means mix.
Yeah. So it's like it's fun because everyone brings their own idea and vibe. Yeah.
Okay. Well, that is actually Gogo Sufi George. Yeah. I mentioned the name right.
Perfect.
Gogo.
Yeah.
Okay, he's a bassist with the band, and he's also a leader of the band. And Selom Donyo is a guitarist. When you see him do that, he's with the band also. But together as a band, you've been around for a very long time. What has kept you moving? Because usually when you find a group of people coming together to do one thing, there's always that bit that in the end, if care is not taken, it just breaks up everything.
I think before we became a band, as you know us now, we were friends. Gogo, for example, has been friends with the drummer for well over 16 to 17 years, like quite a long time. And that has been one glue holding us together. Most of us have been friends together before from the band. Also, we've been in the same church for quite some time now.
All of you?
Yeah. Also,
ICGC.
ICGC. Yeah, we've been together in ICGC for well over 10 years. So that bond of friendship and that spiritual bond, playing together in church on Sundays, brought us some chemistry. And it's been difficult for us to look past that when we have issues, because in the back of our minds, we can't even avoid each other as friends or church members.
You meet in church.
Yeah, so it's like some way, somehow, we've always found a way around our problems, solved everything. And I can say we are doing quite well.
Yeah. The first time I heard Fra, the big shout out to Slasher. Slasher used to, he used to post about Fra.
Is it Slasher?
UCC? Slasher,
he used to post about it on campus.
Shout out to Slasher.
I saw him a couple of times, and that's how I grew the interest in Fra Band, and I've been following. You have been doing a lot, and lately there's been the emergence of a number of bands. Not lately. I mean, since way back, most of the musicians who came into mainstream started with live band, and all that. With you, what is different with Fra?
Well, I would say, as Selom said earlier, we are more like brothers. Okay. So, there's that bond there. And also our sound is different.
And I was coming to that. What is your sound?
So as the name suggests, it suggests mix. And I explained earlier that our influences are diverse when it comes to each member of the band. So when you listen to our songs, even though they are deeply rooted in probably high life and Afrobeat, you hear influences of rock and jazz in there, and sometimes a little bit of pop. Yeah, so it makes our sound very, very interesting. Yep.
Ladies, I mean, of course, you can join in with your questions.
I mean,
Also,
talking about bands in
Yeah.
Ghana here, how do you commercialize your music? Because I know that you play for these events,
And
get
stuff, yeah.
invited to play privately for some people and all that. But aside that, how do you make money?
So, aside playing for events, I think being in a band can be an advantage and a disadvantage. Let me attack the disadvantage first. People are pretty much used to seeing a singular act in terms of like a rapper or a singer, performing. So they don't get easily accustomed to the idea of a band
Yeah.
okay.
as an act. It's very common in the West. People go to shows to go and watch bands, but band culture in Ghana is relegated to kind of like to live band. Yes, to live band. So when you tell people in a band, they immediately go, you are playing in a pub
okay,
on Friday
okay.
night.
Yeah.
They don't think of you as an artist. So for you to say, oh, I'm an artist, I'm coming out with music, listen to my music, it's kind of like weird. People, take a while to get used to that. That is the disadvantage, and that is what we have tried to rebrand, because Ghana's music has always come from band culture
Yeah.
historically. If you go back to the 1950s and 1960s,
The 80 minutes and so
yes,
Yeah.
most of the
Civil
parties
sense.
that the politicians, Kwame Nkrumah and the ministers, they went to, it was band music which was played. High life music was rooted in band culture. So we had a lot of bands, and that's the reason why it was called High Life, because it was played at events where you had people in high society in attendance. So it was rich people's music, so to speak. So we had a lot of bands from that arena going for traveling out. You talked about Iti Mensa, Ramblers, Nanam Pedu, Osibisa, which is like most quietly like well known as having come from from Ghana. Now let's come to the advantage. So the advantage here is because we do a lot of events, we meet a lot of people in the industry. We've played with a lot of artists and singers, both gospel and secular. So it puts certain resources available or within your reach.
Yeah, you can go.
Yes, it puts certain resources in your reach for us. Let me use one example, being features. So most of our songs, when we need a producer, we need a singer to work with, it's quite easy to have that access because we probably played for them or worked for them in the past. So we can ride on that fame, or let me use the word fame, because a lot of people know us because they've seen us play with a certain artist in the past. So, they're like, okay, I know this guy. You can ride on that fame, come out with a song, even feature that person, and hey.
Interesting.
Yeah.
You know what?
So that's the
I've seen him
disadvantages.
play for,
Yeah, that's-
The
Perez music, yeah.
advantages.
Yeah, that's one of the advantages. We've worked with a lot of people from Manifest, Fia, Joe Metal, Pastor Edwin Datson.
Nice.
I could
Perez
go
music,
on,
right?
Perez music, who you just talked about, yeah.
Okay.
So do you have any form of management, or you have people that are managing you as a band?
Well, locally we are self-managed.
Self-managed.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that one. Look,
Yeah, locally, but internationally we work with a team
okay.
in Germany, Delicious Tunes. So yeah, they get us shows, tours in Europe and other countries.
And do they support you financially, or is just about you making you get tours, and then when you make some
Yeah,
money,
yeah,
share
it's
it?
business for them. So
Okay.
they bring the shows, they take their cuts, they make sure that
Okay.
we have the we have the right branding out there and all of that.
So as a band, do you have a leader or a lead singer, something like that?
Okay, so he's the band leader, but
Okay.
we have a frontman.
Not a lead singer.
Not a lead singer, but a
Okay,
frontman.
so he's
yeah.
a leader.
Yeah, the band
Okay.
leader, yeah.
I
How is he?
see.
We shocked that the drummer, whilst he's playing, he's singing.
Yeah.
He leads a song whilst playing the
That guy is,
drums.
Wow.
is excellent.
And that is like amazing to watch. Yeah, that
I
happens.
think it's something you have to be born with, not necessarily learn, right? Because it takes a lot to do that.
Okay, well,
we all learned it.
But I'm sure you were born with it. That's why it was a little
I
bit
could stray away
easy.
from music and bring in the whole Messi versus Ronaldo debate. Because a lot of people argue that Messi was born with it, but Ronaldo trained
Yeah, with hard work.
with hard work to become a
see.
footballer. Even though I believe that there's a certain wall that you cannot get past with just hard work, I also think
Yeah.
it's possible to attain reasonable levels of,
Success.
success in this field, both music. I mean, in any creative field for that matter.
Okay.
So literally, hard work is not enough, right? You need to.
It is. That's the paradox. It's enough, but it isn't.
Yeah.
The new Chelsea player, Mudrik, says talent ain't enough. So I guess we would agree with that. Let me just tune in. You're still watching Entertainment Review. We've got Fra in the building, the Fra band there. They have a concert coming up. That's a fraternity concert. And last year, I wish I was there when I saw the video, Eshimirov. But this year, I definitely need to be there. But what's your take on the Ghanaian music industry as a band? You know, I don't think there is a recognition of like a band of the year in any of our awards schemes. Do we have anything like that? No.
Okay, I think Three Music has a group of
Free
the
Music
year.
did that.
Oh, that's group of the year.
Yeah.
But not
Is it the
necessarily
same
like
as
band of the year.
They didn't do Band of the Year. I thought it was Band of the Year.
No, I saw group of the year.
Yeah,
Group of the year, they will have the likes of Ketcher and the other
Yes.
ones. You know, doesn't it feel like you're being left out? Because you're also making music.
Yeah, actually, it does, but I don't blame them. The bands ourselves are to blame. We recognize rappers and singers out there because they've worked hard to put their music out there. So I believe if every band in Ghana decides to also make in that effort, with time, it will be difficult for the stakeholders in the industry to ignore the efforts being made. I think there are some bands which are doing quite well, like Santrophy, who are actually on bill for our concert. We can also talk about
There are some of them. There's Senkula,
Senku, and Chinchim,
Inchinchim.
Adoko.
Oh, but you people playing too. So if there's a
But
category,
maybe it is. I'm just speculating. It could be that because most bands normally do not play the original songs, they play a lot of other songs.
Yeah, cover,
maybe you're
like-
your exception.
Yeah.
But most bands, live bands, all the bands, like they play other songs, do rendition of other songs.
I think that's the
and not
narrative.
necessarily have their own song that you can lay claim to. Okay,
but
this is my
they
song.
drop albums and singles
Yeah,
too.
I think that's the narrative we
how
want
many?
to change.
How many?
That's
How
the thing
many?
also.
We want to
change
change
that.
that narrative.
Yeah.
And Fra has 2 albums out already. We are releasing the 3rd one sometime this year,
Okay.
probably in April.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we've realized that quite recently there are a lot of bands that are doing the original music now. All the bands performing at our concerts are bands that have the original music. So no one is going to do a cover,
no.
over there.
Okay.
There are bands that have original music.
That's good to know that.
But then with what you're saying, is that to say that emerging bands are not working hard like artists that are already out there?
Even though I faulted bands in general, I can also say that it's quite difficult. We've gone through a lot,
Yeah.
having to get to this point. We've made a lot of sacrifices, and we've seen other bands make a lot of sacrifices in terms of money. The harsh truth is that when you start out, you're going to be broke for a very long time. We are not new to quote-unquote poverty because we've
brokenness.
we've been through it. You go and play shows, and
Thank
have
you.
to-
Yeah, that's
yeah.
very.
we have to put the money aside because we want to like work on the project from our own pockets and all that. Up to now, I think we've been largely self-funded, at least locally.
So your managers are not helping at all. That's the case.
No, so
yes.
yeah, that's why I said in Europe we have a management. So the deal there is different. They are in charge of the tours over there.
Okay.
So it's like a booking agency and a touring company.
Okay.
Yeah, that also manage us and our image out in Europe. They do our publishing and everything. So we opted for them not to manage us in Africa
Okay.
and in Ghana because we realized that probably a lot of people might not be able to meet their terms and conditions
Yeah.
when
Yeah.
they need to book Fra.
Exactly.
Because, out there, things are different and well structured.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they are not going to come to our level here. So we're like, okay, just manage us in Europe and let us do our thing
Do our
in
thing,
Ghana
yeah.
and Africa. Because, over
great
here,
decision.
it's like we have so many friends, and it's like scratch my back, let me scratch yours. Yeah, okay, someone features on our song, they'll be like, okay, play at my concert, my next concert, and we have to be there. Our management might probably not understand this, so we opted for that deal.
Okay.
Yeah.
And with you, so right now you are doing self-management. How easy is that? Because if you're talking about how difficult it is, why don't you rather opt for someone to manage you to make it easier for you?
I think we've had a management before, and we've had probably managers, Limpo managers before. But our issue was that most of them couldn't see the vision. Yeah, we see things in a certain way, and someone comes on board. Probably they want us to release music that is a little bit commercial.
Okay.
But that's not our style, and and we don't want to
compromise
on our sound and all of that. So probably they come and work for 3-4 months and realize, no, this thing is not going to go far. Then we just end the deal over there.
We'll get into the concert bit. But I remember there was an interview where you had said that when people ask you, what do you do for a living? Say that, oh, me what band? And, they are playing, people are going to the bank, say, oh, I'm a banker, I'm a lawyer, all of those things. You used to get that even when you travel abroad. I know you traveled abroad, you play a lot of shows. Or they say, it's changed.
Okay, right now it's much better. At first, it wasn't good at all. I remember I played at a concert and I met one of my former lecturers. And after the show, I went to look for them at the car park. And then they asked me, oh, so where are you now? I'm like, oh, I play in the band. And do you know what they call scanning? When someone scans you up and down.
No. They scanned you.
Yeah. So,
I was running from.
so the look I got, I was like, well, I shouldn't have maybe said, I could have said something else, but that's what I do.
Yeah.
Right now, we have a decent fan base here in Ghana, and I think everywhere we've gone to perform, both in Europe and in Africa here, we've done quite a number of shows outside Ghana, in Tanzania, in Morocco, Uganda, also in Portugal and Spain. So everywhere we've performed, we've had a number of people reaching out to us via email, social media. We like your music. Wow. It makes us feel good. We don't feel ashamed about telling people that we are in a band. We feel good about it now.
Yeah.
Okay, that's
And
nice to feel.
so now the financial situation is quite good, right?
Better.
Yeah, it is.
Better, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Now they'll be okay.
It's
okay.
Better. I mean, for you to be touring Europe,
I should be making some money.
money.
Yeah, it is.
So,
Yeah.
Anyway, let's talk about the concert as we wrap up on the conversation. This will be which edition?
The 6th edition.
The 6th edition of the concert. And what should we expect?
Well, up until now, people have known us for electrifying stage performances, powerful music, inspiring music. The lyrical content of our songs is always like motivational, like you said. You're not the only person who listens to us when they are feeling like down or they want something to ginger them up. All the fans coming there that day are looking for something, which we have, and we are going to give it to them. And it's not just us. We have a wide variety of acts on the bill. We have Dark Suburb. We have The Core. We have Sound Trophy, which is a group which is trying to marry vintage high life with modern trends. Anyone who knows Sound Trophy will love their music. We have Sound Trophy in Chin Chim. We have Senku. We have all these acts on the bill. And
Che Mensa is on the bill.
Che Mensa, Reynolds the Gentleman. How could I forget those guys? Yeah, Reynolds is one guy we've worked with for so many years. He produced Happy Yourself, and he's produced a number of songs for us. He's also there on the night. You are not going to be let down. You're not going to be disappointed. Yeah. This is going to be one of the best concerts like you've attended. I'm saying this, 2023.
Okay.
I believe you, because bands, live bands and all that brings out the best. Like this,
there's something organic.
It makes you feel rich. Like, you're enjoying the song. I'll definitely be there.
How much do we have to pay for our presence there?
So the tickets go for 70 CDs for single and 130 for double.
Oh, and it's cool.
They're penalizing people for being single.
So 70 cities for singles and
130 for double.
130 for double, and it's happening at the
Alliance
Alliance
Française.
Okay, yeah. See the space. It's going to be a nice one.
When is that?
This Saturday, 21st.
21st.
Yeah.
21st.
Gates
Wow.
open at 6.
This Saturday is going to be 21st of.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
So you see, January is running.
Yes,
Yeah,
it's running.
really
We'll be
moving.
I think no
complaining.
more 90
It's
days.
really moving fast. So the 21st, that's this Saturday at the Alliance Française, 6 p.m.
Yeah, gates open at 6. The show begins at 7 exactly.
Yeah, our 7 is always.
You're
7.
always on time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we are
That's
always
good.
on time.
Well, it's been an exciting conversation. Thank you so much for coming, Salam Donyo and George. The last one. Google. He's a bassist and leader of the FRAP band. Fraternity concert happening this Saturday, 21st January at Alliance Française, 6 p.m. Gates open, 7 p.m. The show starts. Tickets 70 Ghana cedis. And of course, do want to follow them on social media. I see them very interactive on Facebook, so do join them there. Thank you, gentlemen, for coming.
Thanks for having
I wish you the
us.
very best. I'll be there.
Cheers.
I'll be there
Thank
on
you.
Saturday.